Bore. This week I've been sharing with you some of my loved contemporary worship songs and hymns. The song I have for you this morning is the well-known Hillsong one, So Will I. Bear with me as I seek to read to you this morning the lengthy words of this particular worship song. It goes like this: God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time, with no point of reference, you spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of light. And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born. In the vapour of your breath, the planets form. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've made. Every burning star, a single fire of grace. If creation sings your praises, so will I. God of your promise, you don't speak in vain, no syllable empty or void. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. And as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch your breath, evolving in pursuit of what you said. If it all reveals your nature, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you say, every painted sky a canvas of your grace. If creation still obeys you, so will I, so will I. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. If the ocean roar your greatness, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. If the wind goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sum of all your praises still falls shy, then we'll sing again 100 billion times. God of salvation, you chased down my heart through all of my failures and pride. On a hill you created the light of the world, abandoned in darkness to die. And as you speak, 100 billion failures disappear. Where you lost your life so that I could find it here. If you left the grave behind you, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've done, every part designed in a work of art called love. If you gladly choose surrender, so will I. I can see your heart 8 billion different ways, every precious one, a child you died to save. If you gave your life to love them, so will I. Like you would again 100 billion times. But what measure could amount to your desire? You're the only one who never leaves the one behind. The lyrics of the great Hillsong, So Will I. Now, some conservative evangelicals have been critical of this song, suggesting to us that because of that phrase, evolving in pursuit of what you said, they suggest that this song teaches theistic evolution. However, I would give the authors the benefit of the doubt and believe that this song is about God as an artist working his masterpiece, a work of art called love. And the song begins with creation, and then it goes through the whole story and finishes at the cross. And it speaks of God as the one who has come in search of us until he found us. The one who would leave the 99 and come looking for that one. It speaks of the future hope of the Christian, that as God leaves Christ left the grave behind, so one day will I. And it speaks of creation speaking forth the praises of our God. And if creation speaks the praises of our God, then so will I, so will I, so will I. How can I be silent this morning when I look at nature, the beauty of nature around me? And as spring will, God willing, soon be upon us, and nature comes to life, declaring the greatness of God, so will I this morning when I look at the heavens, the work of your hands. I can do nothing but praise my God. So will I. So will I. Friends, if the whole of creation worships this morning, so will I. So be blessed as you listen to this somewhat controversial worship song. Pob bendydd, bore da.
God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. With no point of reference, you spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of light. And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born. In the vapor of your breath, the planets form. If the stars were made to worship so loud, I can see your heart. Every burning star, a signal fire of grace. If creation sings your praises so loud, so will I. pierced down my heart through all of my failure and pride. On the hill you created, the light of the world, abandoned in darkness to die. And as you speak, 100 billion failures disappear. Well, you lost your life so I could find it here. If you left the grave behind you, so will I. I can see your heart and everything you've done. Every part designed in a work of art, covered in love. If you gladly chose surrender, so will I can see your heart in billion different ways. Every precious one, a child you died to save. If you gave your life to love them, so will I. Like you would again 100 billion times, but one measure could amount to your desire. You're the one